your thoughts on, in general, on being named to the U.S. Olympic team?
Yeah, I'm extremely honored. Not many people get a chance to be called or call themselves Olympian, um, and I'm just extremely excited to get the thing going, and I can't wait to get to Beijing.
Great, thanks for that. Evan Axelbank, if you have a question, go ahead.
Hey Nathan, how are you? Congratulations. I'm from Fox 13, Tampa Bay, back at home. Obviously, Florida is not a typical hockey place to grow up. You're at a typical place now. Just wanted to ask what your growth as a player and what your success says about the growth of hockey in Florida and how much you've seen things change just over the last 10 years since you started playing.
Yeah, it's definitely growing in Florida, and when I was playing, there wasn't a whole lot of ice, at least that I knew of. But it just seemed like every year it was growing more and more, and the Lightning do a really good job of expanding the game and doing a lot for the younger kids who are trying to get involved with hockey. And yeah, I mean, myself, I've come a long way, pretty much in every aspect. There's been a lot of hard work, but I got to give credit to a lot of different people back home and even here too. My family, my longtime coach Ralph Souter, my coach here Hastings, and yeah, a lot of my teammates along the way.
Mitchell Clinton.
Is there
Okay, go ahead, Evan.
sorry, is there a particular person or particular moment that stands out for you in terms of growing up in the Florida hockey scene where you said, there may be enough here for me to stick it out here and be able to get a big opportunity to play at Minnesota State and then be drafted in the NHL?
Well, honestly, I stayed back instead of I think it was my senior year of high school. I was like 18. I stayed back to finish school, and I actually needed to get my grades up a little bit. So I can thank Ralph Souter, actually Lucas Souter's dad here. Pretty much my best friend since I was 6 years old, and he's helped me out along the way quite a bit.
Mitchell Clinton, and followed by Kyle Berger, please.
Thank you very much, and congrats, Nathan. Obviously, that's the first thing to get out of the way. I'm just curious how you found out who you got the phone call from, and when they're kind of talking to you and telling you that you're an Olympian, do you almost have to kind of check yourself a little bit and try to actually listen to what they're saying instead of just getting extremely excited as I imagine you were?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of take a step back and take a deep breath real quick. And even then, I didn't know. I didn't really know what to say. I had seen some predictions when I was back home for break. I was in North Carolina, I think I was there. Yeah, when I first saw one of the prediction rosters, and it wasn't until I got back to Mankato here when Coach had talked to me and he said, "Hey, I'm most likely going to be an assistant coach for the Olympic team, and you're under heavy consideration for that." And so I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But I didn't really think. I was like, I'm considered, but there's a lot of good players in this country, and even playing pro in other countries too. So I was just, I didn't want to get too high. I didn't want to get too excited about it then, but I got a call a few days after that from the GM, and he just invited me to play for the team. And like you said, I had to take a step back and just kind of gather myself really quick. And after that, I just kind of called my parents, both my dad first, and he didn't know what to say either. He was kind of shocked, just super excited for me and really proud. And then my mom, I called her right after that, and I could hear her crying over the phone. So they were both pretty excited for me.
Kyle, go ahead.
You're also the first player from Tampa Bay to be drafted into the NHL. But back to those Tampa Bay roots, how did you get started in hockey? When was your first love for hockey? Was it rollerblading, roller skating, or what really got you into hockey?
Back when I started roller when I was 6, but what got me into it was I was always outside playing sports after school every day. I mean, I would come home and just chuck my backpack somewhere inside the house, and I'd be on my way outside playing any sport I could. But I had back then my good friend down the street, and he would play street hockey outside. And I was quite a few years younger than him, but I loved doing it. We always would just mess around, and he would kind of school me a little bit, but I still loved playing it. And one day I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to one of his games." And he played roller hockey at the rink in our town, and so I went there, and I was like, "Hey, I want to try it." So I tried it. We went to play it again, I'm pretty sure, and he got me all my gear, and never really looked back since then.
Jeff Hamilton, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Congratulations, Nathan, on the accomplishment.
Thank you.
I just got two. I just want to build one off of Mitch's question about how you found out. What obviously NHL players were going to go to the Olympics until they weren't. Did you even know that you were an option, or did you even come to realize this was a possibility before that conversation? I know you said you saw some stuff online. I'm just a little bit more curious about that. And what's next for you now for the Olympics, as far as when you're headed there, any kind of preparation or anything involving that stuff?
No, I didn't really think about it. I think everybody likes watching the NHL compete in the Olympics. It's the best of the best, and it's the biggest stage, so it's extremely fun to watch, and you always want to cheer for your country and stuff like that. But once they backed out of that and weren't going to play in the Olympics, and I saw the prediction sheets or roster sheets and stuff like that, I just kind of thought in my head, I was like, maybe I do have a chance, but I still thought it was a long shot. Like I said, there's a bunch of different great players throughout the country and playing pro overseas and stuff like that. So I really wasn't sure. I didn't want to get too high. I didn't want to get too low. I saw the rosters, and I was just like kind of thinking about it. It was in the back of my head. So
Ed and Cena.
Hi, Nathan. Congratulations. Now, you mentioned about how, not having much ice in Florida, and a lot of kids who grow up playing hockey in Florida eventually have to go north, right, to play hockey and get that and to develop. You played in the high school league and dominated in it. Obviously played youth hockey with the Scorpions, but what was it that helped you develop throughout maybe, it not being the development not being there that, a lot of other guys go north for? What helped you develop in that way?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I would say my roots being in roller hockey, I think that the game that I play, just having good vision and being creative on the ice, and just kind of being confident in the way I play, mixed with I was always in the weight room, and I think that kind of separates a lot of kids from the others. And I mean, for kids back home in Tampa, if you have any, or if you want any advice, I mean, I would say that's it. And getting in the weight room and just working hard every day. I mean, I work out 4 to 5 times a week. And like I said, I think that was one of the biggest things that set me apart from other people.
Evan Axelbank, I see you have a question.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put my hand down.
It's okay. Mitchell Clinton, how about you?
Yeah, just one more from me. You mentioned that Mike Hastings kind of gave you the heads up that you were under consideration. Just curious, with him being on the staff and obviously, being on the roster, I mean, going to an Olympics, I can imagine would be an overwhelming experience, but what's it going to be like, if you think, to have him there, just a familiar face, if you will, even though I know there's a bunch of NCAA guys going, but just someone from your own staff, your own team from back home would be there as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice, especially going to somewhere so far away, like China. I've never been there. I'm not sure he has either, so it'll be a new thing for both of us. And he's pretty good friends with Coach Quinn, and so I think just having him there and then me being there, with our relationship, I'm hoping we'll be able to kind of lean on each other a little bit here and there, just to kind of help each other with being comfortable. And I also know a couple of the players I've played with, Mark McLaughlin in Cedar Rapids, and I've played with Sam Henches and Nick Perbix back in the World Junior A Challenge. So there's a couple familiar faces that I'm going to be there with.
I think one of the questions, Nathan, was what's next for you relative to schedule-wise. We've got a big weekend this week against University of St. Thomas, and then we host Arizona State. And then timeline-wise, when you expected to be heading over to China, do you know?
Yeah, so we got St. Thomas this weekend and then ASU, and I think it's going to be either the day after that, I think it's the 30th or the 31st that we're supposed to head to LA. And we're going to be testing there, and then we should be either doing some video or practice there. I think it's going to depend on what's available for us.
Okay, Jeff Hamilton and then Ed Encina.
Yeah, thanks. I'd be remiss. By the way, I'm from the Winnipeg Free Press, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Obviously you've had a ton of success at this level, and particularly this season. How much contact have you had with the Jets, and how much have you thought about your future here, and taking that leap to the next level, pro?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's always in the back of my head. Right now, I'm just kind of focused on what I'm doing here and what I have in a couple of weeks, which is the Olympics, and kind of just trying to take it day by day. It's kind of a lot going on right now with school, the Olympics, upcoming games for school, and then, the future as well. But I just try to take it one day at a time and focus on what I can control.
Ed?
Hey, this is one more. Growing up in Tampa, I was just wondering, did you grow up a Lightning fan? Did you go to games there? Was there a player that was your favorite player? You kind of tried to model your game after as a kid?
Yeah, the Lightning were my favorite team growing up, and I would go to quite a few games with my family, and even with my teammates back in roller hockey, we'd always go to games. And growing up, my favorite player, I don't know if I would say I idolized my game after him, but I loved watching Marty St. Louis. He was just so small but so strong, and he was a competitor, and he never gave up on anything, and he didn't care how big other guys were. He battled every day, and he was just an unreal player.
Thank you.
Circling back to Jeff Hamilton here, we have time for a couple more questions if you have them.
Yeah, appreciate it. Just one more, Nathan. On the Jets one, I know you got a full plate here, with your own hockey and traveling and buses, rides, and all that thing. How much do you watch the Jets? How much do you keep an eye on the team that drafted you?
Well, to be honest, I don't get to watch them much, just because they play the later game, and I'm usually getting in bed, or I'm doing school or making food for dinner. So I don't get to watch them a ton, but I do watch them when I get a chance, and they're fun to watch. So I'm really looking forward to my future with them.
Somebody else has asked a question. I just said one more. People, when you came to Winnipeg, everyone I talked to, myself included, was really impressed with how you handle yourself. The kind of person that you are, and I'm wondering how important it is, character, that kind of stuff. I know you're a leader on your club. It is to you to make sure that you're obviously a really good hockey player, to be a good person as well.
Yeah, I mean, before hockey, I just want to be a good person. I mean, regardless if I'm playing any sports, I think it's one of the main things that I was taught growing up is just be a good person, and good things will happen to you in return. And that's just what I try and focus on every day, just being a good person, being a good teammate. If I have to go out of my way to do something for someone, I will. And that's just what I was taught by my parents growing up.
Evan Axelbank with the last question, please.
I know obviously we expected the NHL to be in this, right up until a few weeks ago, when when you realized they weren't going to be going, and this opportunity was a potential, did you think you had a shot? Was this something you were hoping for? And obviously, Beijing's a long way from Florida. Can you imagine, growing up and thinking you're going to be going to Beijing to play in the Olympics one day?
I mean, like I said, I didn't really know if I had a shot or not. I knew that once the NHL was out, I knew that they were going to go to the college guys and the overseas guys too. But like I said, I saw the prediction rosters. It was always in the back of my head once I saw that, and I was like, there's a chance, but it's still kind of a long shot for me, just being from Florida, and maybe just getting passed up on somebody else that they've chosen for the team. But I'm really grateful that I'm getting this opportunity to go, and I'm like super excited.
All right. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend against St. Thomas. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, guys.